I'm 84 years old. I have 4 children, a cardiologist, a corporate attorney, a man who owns 3 restaurants in Seattle, a professor of biochemistry at a university I can't even pronounce correctly. People tell me I should be proud. People tell me I did something right. And I smile. Because what else can you do when someone congratulates you on your greatest failure? The house is quiet now. It's been quiet for a long time, but lately I've started noticing the sound of the refrigerator, that low hum. It runs all day and all night, and sometimes I catch myself just standing in the kitchen, listening to it, like it's the only voice left in this place. 40 years ago, I couldn't hear myself think in this house. 4 children running, screaming, fighting over toys, slamming doors. I used to dream about silence. I used to pray for 5 minutes of peace. God has a sense of humor, I suppose. He gave me all the silence I could ever want. Christmas was 3 months ago. I bought a ham. I set the table for 6 just in case. I told myself maybe this year. Maybe someone would surprise me. The ham sat in the refrigerator for 2 weeks until I finally threw it out. I couldn't eat it alone. It felt like eating evidence of something I didn't want to admit. My daughter called on Christmas morning. 11 minutes. I know, because I looked at my phone after. 11 minutes. And she spent 8 of them telling me about a conference in Geneva she was preparing for. I said, "That sounds wonderful, honey." I said, "I'm so proud of you." I didn't say that I had been awake since 4 in the morning, waiting. I didn't say that I had rehearsed things I wanted to tell her, little stories about the neighbor's dog, about the new cashier at the grocery store who reminds me of her when she was young. I didn't say any of that because the conversation was already ending. She had somewhere to be. She always has somewhere to be. There's a tin of cookies in my freezer. Butter cookies with the little sugar crystals on top. They were Daniel's favorite when he was a boy. He's 56 now. The cookies expired 4 years ago. I checked the date last week, and I put them back. I can't throw them away. I keep thinking, what if he stops by? What if one day the doorbell rings and it's him, and he's hungry, and I have nothing to offer him? So the cookies stay. Right there in the freezer, behind the frozen peas, waiting for a visit that isn't coming. I made a Facebook account last year, not under my real name. I used my maiden name and a photo of a beach I found somewhere. I don't post anything. I don't talk to anyone. I just look. My granddaughter posts photos almost every day. She's 14 now. I've seen her twice in person since she was 9. But on this account, I can see her. Her school play, her birthday party, a trip to Disneyland with her other grandmother, the one who lives closer, the one they actually visit. There was a photo of her holding a trophy, some kind of academic award. She looked so proud. I stared at that photo for 20 minutes. My own granddaughter. And I have to pretend to be a stranger just to watch her grow up. I wonder sometimes when it started, when exactly I lost them. There wasn't a single moment, not that I can point to. It was slow, like water wearing down a stone. You don't see it happening until one day the stone has a hole right through the middle. But if I'm honest, and I'm trying to be honest now because what's the point of lying at 84, I think I know when my daughter stopped trusting me. She was 16. She came home from a date with a boy I didn't approve of. I had already called his mother. I had already found out he'd been suspended from school the year before. I had already decided who he was and who my daughter was for liking him. And I told her. I told her everything I'd learned, everything I thought, everything I was afraid of. I thought I was protecting her. I thought she would thank me. She looked at me with this expression I had never seen before, like she was seeing me for the first time. And she said, very quietly, "You went through my things. You called his mother. You checked up on me like I'm a criminal." I said I was her mother. I said it was my job to protect her. She went to her room and closed the door. Not slammed, closed. And something closed with it. The thing about being a mother, the thing nobody tells you, is that love can look exactly like control. It can feel righteous. It can feel necessary. You tell yourself you're keeping them safe. You tell yourself they'll understand when they're older. You tell yourself that all this worry, all this vigilance, it comes from love. And maybe it does. But love that doesn't let someone breathe isn't love. It's a cage with a pretty name. I checked their homework every night. I proofread their college essays. I called their teachers when their grades slipped. I showed up at their jobs when they were first starting out, just to make sure they were being treated fairly. I thought I was being a good mother. I thought I was showing them I cared. What I was showing them was that I didn't trust them, that I didn't believe they could handle their own lives, that they would always be children to me, even when they were 30, 40, 50 years old. My son Michael, the one with the restaurants, he told me once. This was maybe 15 years ago. He said, "Mum, every time I accomplish something, I wait for you to find the flaw." I thought he was being dramatic. I thought I was just being thorough. Mothers notice things, I told him. Mothers want the best for their children. He said, "I know, Mum. That's the problem. Your best and my best aren't the same thing." I didn't understand what he meant then. I think I do now. There's a woman in my building, Evelyn. She's 79. Her children visit every month. Every single month, someone drives down to see her. They have dinner together. They bring the grandchildren. I've seen them through my window, unloading from the car, carrying covered dishes. Evelyn always has this look on her face when they arrive, like she can't believe her luck. I asked her once, years ago, what her secret was. She laughed and said there was no secret. She said she just stayed out of their way. She said she let them make their mistakes. She said she told them she was proud of them even when they failed. I thought she was being neglectful. I thought she was being passive. I thought my way was better. Evelyn's daughter calls her every Tuesday. I hear her laughing through the walls sometimes. That's how thin these walls are. I can hear another woman's happiness right through the plaster. The silence in this apartment has a texture. It's not just the absence of sound. It's the presence of everything that used to be here and isn't anymore. I walk past the room that was once a nursery, and then a playroom, and then a teenager's cave. And now it's just a room with a bed no one sleeps in, and curtains I never open. Sometimes I go in there and sit on the bed. I don't know why. Maybe I'm waiting to feel something. Maybe I'm trying to remember what it sounded like when this house was full. They send gifts. For my birthday, for Christmas. Packages arrive from Amazon or some fancy store I've never heard of. Nice things. Expensive things. Last year I got a cashmere blanket that probably cost more than my first car. I took it out of the box and I sat there holding it and I thought, this is what I am to them now. Someone you send a blanket to. Someone you handle with a credit card. The blanket is still in the closet, still in its tissue paper. I can't use it. It feels like using something that was sent instead of given. People my age talk about this, not openly, but in waiting rooms, at church, in the quiet moments when the grandchildren conversation comes up and everyone gets a little careful. We know who visits their mothers and who doesn't. We know who has children who moved across the country and never looked back. We know the ones who call and the ones who don't. And we all have our theories about why. Some say it's the times. Children today are busier, more selfish, less connected. But I don't think that's true, because I see those same busy, modern children making time for other mothers, just not for all of us. I watched my own mother die. I was there. I held her hand. She was difficult, my mother. Critical, controlling, impossible to please. I swore I would be different. I swore my children would never feel about me the way I felt about her. And now I'm 84 years old, and I understand something terrible. I became her anyway. I became exactly what I promised myself I wouldn't be. The only difference is she knew what she was. I hid it, even from myself, behind words like love and protection, and only wanting the best. There are photographs on my bookshelf, my children at various ages, graduations, weddings, achievements. I used to look at them with pride. Now I look at them and I see what I was doing wrong in each one. There's a photo of my son at his medical school graduation. I remember that day. I remember telling him his tie was crooked. I remember asking why he didn't graduate with higher honors. He had just become a doctor. My son, a doctor. And I found something to criticize. What kind of person does that? What kind of mother? I think about what I would say if they called. If the phone rang right now, this moment, and it was one of them, really wanting to talk. I've rehearsed it so many times. The apologies I would make. The things I would explain. But the truth is, I don't know if I could get the words out. We've gone so long speaking the same safe language. How are you? I'm fine. Work is busy. The weather is nice. Yes, I'm taking my pills. We've forgotten how to say real things to each other. Or maybe we never learned. Maybe I never let them. My husband used to tell me to ease up. This was before he passed, when the children were still young. He'd say, "Margaret, let them fail a little. Let them figure it out." And I would tell him he didn't understand, that the world was hard and someone had to prepare them, that I couldn't just sit back and watch them struggle. He stopped arguing eventually. He stopped a lot of things. I wonder now if he saw what was happening, if he watched me push them away and didn't know how to stop it. Or maybe he knew he couldn't stop it. Maybe he knew that this was something I had to learn on my own, the hard way, after it was too late. The thing I'm most afraid of, the thing I don't say out loud, is this. Who will hold my hand at the end, when I'm in that hospital bed, or that nursing home, or wherever I end up? Piyush Joe will be there. I have 4 children and 11 grandchildren. I have a family most people would envy. And I might die alone. Not because they don't exist, but because I made them want to stay away. That's the worst part. Not that they abandoned me, that I built a door they had to walk through, to survive. If I could go back. If I could have one Saturday with them as children again. Just one. I think I know what I would do differently. I would let the homework be wrong. I would let the clothes be mismatched. I would let them fail that test and feel that disappointment and learn to pick themselves up. I would sit on the floor and play with them instead of standing over them, watching, correcting. I would laugh more. I would say, "I love you," more than "be careful." I would let them know that they were enough, exactly as they were, that my love wasn't a reward for being perfect, that it wasn't something they had to earn. But you can't go back. That's the cruelest part of getting old. You finally understand everything, and you can't use any of it. The wisdom comes too late. The apologies come too late. The softness comes too late. There's a number in my phone. It's my oldest son's cell. Sometimes late at night, I open it and I just look at it. I could press the button. I could hear his voice. But I know what would happen. The surprise, the awkwardness, the quick excuse about being busy, and then silence again, worse than before, because I would know for sure that he didn't want to talk to me. So I just look at the number, 10 digits. The distance between me and my son reduced to 10 numbers I can't bring myself to dial. People think the worst part of being old is the body, the aches, the pills, the doctor's appointments. But it's not. The worst part is the inventory. You lie awake at 3 a.m. and you count everything. The mistakes, the missed chances, the words you said that you can't take back, the words you never said that now it's too late to say. You add it all up, and you get a number that represents your life, and you have to live with that number. You have to carry it with you every day until the end. I'm not asking for sympathy. I'm not asking for pity. I made my choices. I was the adult. They were children who trusted me to know what I was doing, and I didn't. I thought I did. I thought I was so right about everything. That certainty, that absolute certainty that I knew better than they did about their own lives, that was my fatal mistake. Not any single thing I did, but the belief, the deep, unshakable belief, that my way was the right way, that my fear was wisdom, that my control was love. I hear the refrigerator again. It just kicked on. That hum, the only constant in my life now. That machine keeps working day after day, keeping things cold and preserved and waiting, just like those cookies in the freezer, just like me, I suppose. Still here, still waiting, for a visit, for a call, for a second chance that probably isn't coming. If you're watching this and you have children and you think you're protecting them by holding on tight, let go, please, before it's too late. Let go while there's still something to hold on to, because one day they'll be grown and gone, and you'll be sitting in a quiet house listening to the refrigerator. And you'll understand that you weren't keeping them safe. You were keeping them from you. And by then, all you'll have is a freezer full of expired cookies and a fake account to watch them live their lives. Without you. I'm 84 years old. I have 4 successful children. And I haven't heard any of their voices. Not really heard them. Not in person. Not without a screen between us. In longer than I can remember. That's my story. That's the warning I can give you. It's all I have left to offer.